Hello everyone, what is up? I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video here at Most Amazing Top 10. Okay, I must admit the idea behind The Purge is very interesting. Although I don't know if it actually does what it's intended to do, lower crime rates throughout the year just so everyone can unleash their inner savage and demon on the one day, I feel like crime would still happen regardless, and the only thing it's really done is increase the amount of Halloween costumes available to us. But the basis is cool, messed up, but cool. And I could say the same thing about the movie's theories, so let's do it. This is the top 10 scary Purge theories. Starting us off with number 10 is propaganda. Now this one's a bit Inception-esque, so just stay with me. Now the one overlying theme in the Purge is that the poor people are out there fending for themselves and the rich people are cozy inside their homes with their security systems, just sitting by the windows eating their popcorn, just watching the anarchy basically. So based on that, Reddit user Johnny_the_Martian theorized the first Purge movie is actually a propaganda piece within the Purge universe being shown to us, and it's implied that we know everything about the world because we're a part of it. So the theory is that the first movie is targeted at a large unaware audience by anti-Purger rebels. They wanted to make a film that would deliver the helplessness and fear felt by the poor on Purge night to the upper classes who ignore it. Whether they're ignoring it because they think it's actually doing some good or because they think it'll never happen to them. Either way, I've never heard of a theory that theorizes the first film as propaganda, but it's very well done. Me, as an unaware audience member, was totally sucked in, and I also wanted bad things to happen to all these rich people in the movie. Coming in at number 9 are the bad guys. Who are the bad guys? Is it ever really that black and white? No, let's face it. So in election year, which is the third movie in the series, politicians use the Purge to try and help them succeed politically. Which is fine because at least they were doing it while it's legal. I mean, politicians in our world are corrupt even when it's not legal to do so, so there's that. Apply water to that burn. But anyway, okay. Even in Anarchy, the second movie, the government literally buses trucks and trucks filled with mercenaries into the street. So the theory offered up by Redditor JRinRedcar is that the quote-unquote bad people we see on the streets may actually be the good guys. What if those civilians are the people who are fighting off these government mercenaries and not just aimlessly just committing crimes for fun? I mean, yeah, the people stealing TVs and stuff are probably just doing it for fun, but the other people could very well not be. Just some food for thought for you. At number 8 we have kidnapping and murder. Okay, according to this theory, the Purge makes kidnapping and murder a lot easier. I mean, yeah, well that's sort of the point. But it doesn't just make it easier, if anything it subliminally encourages it. If you kidnap someone during the Purge, it'd be legal. When the Purge ends, no one would really be looking for that person because they just assume that they probably got killed during the day. So if anything, the Purge enables kidnappers to take people and then continue that, torture them, hold them till the next Purge, I don't know. Crime doesn't really get lower, it just becomes easier. Even murder, like that is literally the crime that poses the least risk to the person doing it. It's just a one-time crime, you kill someone, it's over and done with that same day. But crimes like theft, for example, I mean, you can steal a TV during the Purge and it'd be legal, but after that you're holding on to stolen property. Same with the drugs, you can go wild during the Purge and take every drug ever, but that's not going to stop you from failing a drug test long after the Purge is over. Point being, the Purge encourages the big crimes. Filling our number 7 slot is population control. Honestly, you don't even have to have watched the movies to know a lot of people get killed during the films. So according to Redditor Wilmatron, population will become a major burden on our society, especially when you mix that with future medical advancements that extend life expectancy. So there's just going to be a lot of us for a very, very long time. He theorized the Purge wasn't to reduce crime rates during the year, it was to eliminate the weak or just generally eliminate people in general. And violence and murder just happen to be the preferred method of population control because the government saying we're gonna kill a bunch of people is just absurd. But if we willingly do it ourselves, they can't be blamed. They're smart people, they are smart. Now at number 6 are legal repercussions, and yes, that is scary. If the thought of spending the rest of your life in jail doesn't scare you, I don't know what to say to you. But also, if we take the Purge at face value, the legal repercussions of it are literally impossible to work with. Post-Purge, it would take months to arrest people for their crimes, let alone trial time. During that time, they'd have to prove that they did commit the crime during legal time, and that their crime wasn't premeditated until the day of the Purge. The entire justice system, so the police, the prison system, the courts, they would literally experience years of backlog from each purge, and it would just get worse and worse every year until having a legal system would just be virtually useless. All that was part of an anonymous person's theory. They go on to say the only way the purge would work is if the government sent out hit squads to legally kill all claimants and witnesses from previous years during the purge. But even that has problems, and I think the maker of the theory put it quite eloquently. If they did do that, then they'd be letting wasps loose to control the spider population and then releasing bloodthirsty vipers to cut down your sudden wasp infestation. The analogy makes sense, trust me, I swear. Coming in at number 5 are James and Mary. If you haven't seen it, the first movie centers around one family and the parents are called James and Mary. Pretty self-explanatory. Their son Charlie bypasses their high-tech bougie security system because he sees someone being chased outside and wants to save them. He lets the man in, and the whole story is basically the family fending off all the people wanting to kill this man. Throughout the movie, Mary and James express their hatred for the purge, but Redditor Flathrax thinks the only reason they do that is because they used to participate themselves. When Charlie asks them why they don't participate, James hesitates to answer, which is red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 is that he's very adept with using weapons, and at a 9-to-5 office job, how would he be that adept unless he used to participate? I mean, he could have easily done training at some point in his life, but that's just not a fun explanation. The third red flag is the fact that Mary is so chilled and comfortable talking about guns and hunting for invaders for someone who opposes the purge. Why so relaxed, Mary? At least pretend like you've never done this before. And the fourth and final red flag is their wealth. Rich people in the purge are always out hunting poorer people and just doing messed up things in general. So really, I wouldn't be surprised if James and Mary used to take bids back in the day for which poor person they have to headshot first. At number 4 is The Walking Dead. So if you've never watched The Walking Dead, if that is the case, then oh baby, what is you doing? You need to get on that, it's really good. But anyway, The Walking Dead takes place in a post-apocalyptic world after a zombie apocalypse has taken place and is sort of still taking place. If you get bit by a zombie, and they call them walkers in the show, then you die not instantly, but you die and then turn into one. And the only way to kill a walker is to stab or shoot them in the head. So this theory suggests that the purge is actually the future world of The Walking Dead. By the time the purge is taking place, the whole zombie apocalypse is mostly under control. There are now more humans than there are walkers, so at least there's one good thing. So the purge basically takes place as the nation's safeguard against another zombie horde, and its purpose is to get rid of the weak people who are more likely to get bit than others. And that's the reason basically everyone just gets shot in the head. Filling our number 3 slot is the real goal of the purge. In the movies, the purge seems like a day of senseless killing, but the government would never actually offer that with no goal in mind. Sure, now it's to reduce crime rate, but this theory from The Week suggests the idea for the purge came from public outcry for vengeance and protection against the increasing number of homeless people in the population. Now, according to them, although the purge evolved into something else, it started off with a set target and goal, and that was basically a declaration of war against the homeless. And that's quite an easy war to win. I mean, it's very hard to lose against people that can't defend themselves. And if you mix that with some high-profile crimes committed by homeless people in a propaganda campaign highlighting poor members of society as the greatest threat to an average American, then people would buy into it. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before in tyrannical regimes where they're able to convince people that a certain segment of society is responsible for the ills of everyone else, and hence they should be removed completely. So in this theory, the purge started off as a cleansing act for the homeless. What do you guys think? Now at number 2 is High School Musical. I know, believe me, I was as surprised as you are right now. But this theory from Lauren Levine claims that High School Musical wasn't as PG as it seemed, and that it was also set in the same world as The Purge. According to Lauren, teens that never drink, do drugs, or even get physically intimate, or even talk about any of those things are just plain weird. I mean, no, they're not. You don't have to do any of those things as a teenager if you don't want to, but okay. She goes on to say that the teens in the movie just aren't focused on those things because they get to act out their wildest fantasies during the purge. In the trilogy of HSM films, they literally repeatedly commit actions that would have resulted in legal action had they been done in our world. The school gets trashed, Miss Darbus impersonates Troy and applies to Juilliard for him, which is forgery by the way, the health code violations committed when they all work in the kitchen at Lava Springs Country Club, or when Troy and Chad steal 2 younger kids' clothing and force them to run around the school naked. And no one faces any consequences for any of those things. And the worst thing that happens is Troy having to choose between singing and basketball, which is quite easy, Troy, singing. So under all the smiles, there's just a lot of social contract violating things happening in what's clearly a lawless society. I feel like this is my favorite theory. And finally, at number 1 is the Antichrist, and you didn't think this video would go there, did you now? Well, get ready. Now Strike3R2K8 from Reddit believes the Purge movies are set in a collapsed world where the devils come back to rule. But where is the evidence, you may be asking? Okay, think about it. The world the Purge is set in was already in chaos before the Purge was even passed. And in that time, a figure rose up that has influence over the politicians, basically everyone in power really, but no one knows about this. Now everyone's just been indoctrinated into this idea, so when the Purge actually does pass, no one's the wiser, no one questions it. Participating in the Purge itself is accepting the mark of the quote-unquote beast, and whoever participates becomes heartless and twisted, and their souls are no longer their own. They're under the influence of the devil, so essentially you can't trust anyone, not even yourself. The only people that are sane and know what's going on is wrong end up becoming victims of the Purge. Because these people are against it, they're automatically a threat to the Antichrist and thus must be eliminated. And that's all for today's video, guys. If you haven't seen any of the Purge movies, then I'm sorry for wasting 10 minutes of your life. But if you have seen them, then which theory was your favorite? Or do you have any theories of your own? I love reading people's opinions about movies. Leave them in the comments, guys, and I'll reply to as many as I possibly can. But as always, I'm your host Ayman Hassan, and I'll see you next time. Bye!